All right, halfway house. It is Saturday afternoon, damn near dark. Got the 6-liter back. This is the one. Had an overheating issue, and I just kept finding issue after issue. He took it to a shop. They said it had blown head gaskets. His degas bottle was cracked under here, had no coolant in it. His heater valve was leaking over here. So I fixed those, and then it was good for a while. And then he said he was losing coolant, overheating again. And then water pump ended up leaking. It had a fan clutch code, so put a new fan clutch. When I pulled that apart, found a hole in the radiator on that side, and then this hose going back to the heater core was rubbing on the thickum and leaking there. Fixed all that crap. Now it's been good. So now he said it's running rough. He's had the issue before. Last time he said it was injector. He's like, you want me to order injector? He's like, no, let's figure out what's wrong with it, you know. So if any of y'all actually watch any of my shit, it's extremely important to actually diagnose a 6-liter or a 7.3, because I see it all day, every day on the forums and Facebook pages, and you know, hey, my truck runs like shit. Oh, mine was the injectors. Put injectors in it. You know, they put injectors in it. Like, man, it's still running like shit. Okay, it's your ICP sensor. Put an ICP sensor. It still runs like shit. Oh, you got high pressure oil leaks. You know, so you do all that crap, and then oh, it's a bad H pop, and you know, it turns out it's a crank sensor, cam sensor, or something. You know, it's something fucking stupid. You need to diagnose these, or you're just gonna throw parts at them. And then, you know, people say, well, I can't afford to take it to somebody. Well, you just put $8 grand worth of shit in your vehicle that still doesn't fucking run. Pay somebody to diag it, and then you fix it. You know, fuck. That doesn't make any sense, you know. You can't afford to do it the first time, but you can afford to rebuild the whole engine, basically, and you still didn't fix it. So, I told him not to order injectors. Let's see what's wrong with it. So, first thing I do, check codes, get a good scanner. A code reader is not a scanner. Get a good scanner, check codes. Had contribution for number 8 and a circuit code for injector 7. Do a buzz test. It fails injector 7. Do a buzz test again. It fails injector 7. So I do a contribution test, and 7 is doing 0. And all the rest look fairly normal. They say that your other injectors will make up for a bad injector. I don't know if that's true, but the other ones look pretty, you know, even compared to number 7. So next, you want to check your, because it still doesn't mean it's an injector. Still could be a thickum issue, or a wiring issue, a connector issue, something like that. So, oh yeah, check your thickum voltage. Thickum voltage should be 48 volts. Had a steady 48 volts. So injector 7 is the rear one on this side. So I pulled the connector. It looks good. It was plugged in all the way. No corrosion. No pins pushed out. It doesn't look like. So I unplug it. Do this, basically repeat the process. Still shows injector 7, which, okay, you know, that makes sense. If it had failed electronically, which it sounds like it did. So then I switch 5 wires with injector connectors 5 and 7. And so if that code or that issue now showed injector 5 instead of 7, then I would know it's in the wiring going to injector 7, which is now going to 5. So I swapped them. It stayed on injector 7, which showed, I don't know if this is making sense, which showed injector 5. So unplug it, and same thing. So basically, it's, if injector 7 is plugged in or not, it does the exact same thing. So that sounds like I got a dead solenoid or something electronic on injector 7. So anyway, I'm trying to do this fast because I don't know if it's even making sense to anybody, but you want to do everything you can, because I mean, what if I did an injector and it's not that, you know? So you don't want that. So I did everything I could to narrow it down to injector 7 being failed, not mechanically, but electronically. So now we're about to tear into her. Actually, let's tear into this. This is a must if you're going to do one of these jobs. You can avoid injector issues if you don't buy a 6-liter. I would start there. So let's do this. It's actually getting kind of chilly. It rained all day, foggy as shit. Then it got sunny and cold, and now it's fucking perfect. So I got a party to go to tonight, so I need to get this thing torn down so I can be ahead of the game. So anyway, if you're new to 6-liters, this looks like an absolute disaster. It's really not that bad. When I first started working on vehicles, and you know, these were brand new at the time, and I said I will never work on that fucking pile of shit. It's not that bad. It's like boats. If you know, like if you need to get this valve cover off, you know, don't try to snake it around this intercooler pipe. Pull the fucking intercooler pipe off. It's 2 11 mil or 7/16. Boom, pull it off. Always pull these off here, not on the injector or in the intercooler pipe side. Once they get oil soaked and they're old, for whatever reason, it's way harder for them to grab onto this than that. Somebody taught me that a long time ago, and I've always done them here ever since and never had any issues. So there's that. Map sensor, gotta go. Don't try to pull this off, this hose. Unplug it, do these 3 bolts, move the whole thing out of the way because you will break these nipples. I've done it before. The heater hose, you should have enough wiggle room. I usually wrap them around these studs once you get this off. Intercooler pipe, get that out of the way. Yeah, this is a later style, so it has the ICP sensor on the valve cover. Glow plug module, move that out of the way. What else? Mark where your studs are on your valve covers, because, you know, they hold brackets and shit like that. Make sure to put them back in the same spot, you know. If you have 2 good wobbles, so do a wobble, and then I can't remember if these are 12s or 13s shallow, and you can, if you're lucky, you can get all of those with an impact. I've seen it done before. Obviously your HVAC box is directly in the fucking way. I have an expert set, which it's really tiny, so it helps get the your high pressure oil rail out of the way. This is an 07 or 06, so this has the spider style. It's not the log style. I actually like the log style a lot better because they're fucking narrow and they, you know, they don't take up the whole fucking side. And then I think it's another Torx to get the injector out. Single hold down, I believe. Again, it's been, I don't know, at least a couple of years since I've done injectors on one of these. So, yeah, let's tear into it. Let's see if we can get her done. At least torn down before it gets dark. I got maybe an hour, so get to it. Alright, I lied. It's getting darker faster than I thought, but you halfway know what you're doing. You can get this torn apart to where it is now in about, you know, 5 minutes. You're going to drop tools, and normally I don't pull that off, but it didn't feel like it had any coolant in there, and it doesn't really have a whole lot, but as you can see, it's got some pressure built up, or maybe not see, but you can probably hear it. I mean, this thing is ice cold. I don't know why it's got so much pressure, so that's kind of odd. But and I decided I'm not going to pull this valve cover off tonight, just because I want it to stay sealed up overnight. Your glow plug module bolts to all this shit. I mean, it holds a 1 ounce little module. I don't know why it needs 5 fucking mounting bolts, but I guess it's only 4. There's your ICP sensor. It's not leaking. I don't know if you can see in there, but a lot of times it'll leak through. Oil will leak through. Yeah, I'm gonna call it night. Sun's pretty much, actually looks brighter on video, but yeah, so these are 12s. And again, mark where your studded ones are, because they're not all studded. I don't know if you can see that one back there. That one's not studded. Obviously all the ones back there aren't studded because nothing bolts to them, but usually get some channel locks and unscrew that oil fill. Really, that's about it at this point. So I'm gonna call it a night, put my tools back up, and finish my White Claw, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, halfway house, back at it. Got the valve cover off. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, you'll have to, you know, use a flex and use a wobbly wherever that is, and some extensions, and the ratchet wrench comes in handy for the bottom ones. I couldn't get that U-joint in there. But anyway, here's the rail I was talking about. They are T30s, and where's it at? This little kit comes in handy for those ones down there. So you can't even really see them, but anyway, I'm gonna pull this oil rail off and then yank that rear injector. Oh yeah, you gotta pop these connectors through the rocker box. If I remember right, it's a 19 or a 3/4 and socket. You just put it over there and it'll pop it right through. So let's keep tearing her down. All right, here's your oil rail, high pressure oil rail. This is upside down, obviously. This is where you know, it feeds the high pressure oil into your injectors. It is starting to rain, as you can see. Wouldn't worry about that moisture, but I got the injector out. So, you know, make sure you have the right size Torx, because you will strip these little fuckers out all the time. People over tighten them and, you know, strip the actual hole out, strip the Torx side out. So, you know, I'm trying to make it a point to use the right size. And then I see this early style, late style. I'm like, oh, this is a late style, but I used a T40, and sure enough, it is not a T40, it's a T45. So make sure you use the right size, because you will fuck these up. And they don't have to be overly tight, but everyone torques the fuck out of them. There you go, 24 foot-pounds, 26 foot-pounds. They don't need to be fucking Hercules goddamn tight. So there's hole 7 back there, and I'm gonna slam this injector and keep rocking and rolling. All right, just to confirm, this is a T45, and that is the correct size. So you know, I always make a big deal, make sure you got the right size, and I had the wrong size. Luckily it wasn't super tight, and we got her off anyway, so be careful. One other small tip: so these injector connectors go through this rocker box. See the hole there? So poke that fucking thing through there and connect it before you put it back on, because I've got them all back together, went to hook up that connector and push the connector back through. Then you gotta pull the valve cover out to fish it back through. Unless you can get creative and grab it. I haven't been that lucky, so something to watch out for. Good luck. All right, all back together. Moment of truth. Will she run? Probably not. 6 liter. It is a brisk, I don't know, 75 degrees, so I probably won't start either way. Oh, got some wipers. Tunes. Oh. The buzzing already sounds better. I did top her off with coolant. It took about, I don't know, about half a gallon of coolant. Put a little bit of water in there. She's topped off. He said he's got something going on with his ignition, and it just beeps like this all the time, he says. So, where's the oil pressure at? Let's see what we got going on here. Gonna have to, you know, fill up that rail with oil. Come on, baby. Sometimes it takes a while. Luckily, I only did one side, so the other side's still got oil in it. Probably doesn't, obviously doesn't have oil pressure, but oh, got some whiskey? Absolutely. When you're stuck in traffic. All right. It's gonna fire up as soon as that oil pressure goes up. Any day now. Oh, it sounds so much better already. And so it's kind of gonna gurgle and shit for a while. Might smoke a little bit, yeah. God damn, it sounds better. Sweet. God damn, these things are loud. Yeah, sounds a million times better. So I'm gonna let her warm up, clean up my tools, go for a test drive, call the customer, and then we're gonna go to some Brazilian steakhouse in San Antonio, like Tamagotchis or some shit. So see y'all later.